In this video, I'll show you how to create, there's a lot of interesting cuts out of this circular disc, and I'll show you how to a way to use rectangles. It's quick and efficient to do your cuts. So I'm going to go ahead and start a sketch on this surface, and I'll use my rectangle tool. And I'm not going to worry about dimensions. Just going to draw some rectangles. And notice I'm drawing them outside the perimeter of the part, because the reality is I don't really care about this space here. I just want to cut out this material, but it's totally okay to leave these rectangles sticking out here because the software will let you cut through the air. It's not a problem. It will only remove material where there is existing material. It just makes it a lot quicker. So again, I'm trying to remove those chunks of material. I will need the internal dimensions to constrain all of this. And it's a little bit of a handful here. Just take your time, and you do need to dimension all of these features, or all these cuts, maybe I should say. And make sure everything is, in this case, symmetrical. So I'm going to remove that chunk of material. So I'll go ahead and do the rest of those since I've got that dimension in my head. And you can see what I'm doing is, because I know those blocks are 1/2 inch thick, I'm putting 0.25 dimension from the side to the center point so that I know that everything's symmetrical. And pay attention to purple lines and black lines, so you know that you've got enough dimensions on there. And that's 1.5. And I went ahead and did those, except for this last one here. On these, all these dimensions those were 1.5s from this edge to the center here is 1.25. So that might be my last one. Now what I'm going to look at are all of these inside lines to make sure that they're all black, so I know that everything is constrained. Again, I don't care about these rectangles here. Hit escape. These rectangles here can be gigantic. It doesn't matter. It's not a problem. As long as I have those dimensions locked in there. So it looks like I've got everything. Let's finish the sketch. I want to make sure you choose all the rectangles. And we're going to do cut and just make sure it goes all the way through. And there's your part. Now it's a little bit of a handful to dimension that. Just take your time. Again, we'll go for a B-sized piece of paper. And the scale's too big. Right click, edit. We'll go half scale. That doesn't work. You can always keep changing it, but if I see the size of it, I can kind of judge it. Half scale is probably going to be good. Hit escape, project view, and create. So those are good views. Now I got a lot of lines on here, but they all mean something, so they're fine to leave those on there. One thing I do a lot of times is put my center marks and center lines on there just to clarify what's what. Now you're not going to have center lines on these. Those are the rectangular cutouts. Oops. If you click on the center, a lot of times it's confusing for the software. Don't click on the center of a Now it's calling out the radius because it's a broken circle. That's totally fine. And what I would suggest on these is, rather than dimensioning every single one of these, just double click on that, put your cursor in front, and put a 4x. So it's pretty obvious I'm telling you that there's 4 of those slots that are the same. And likewise on this, double click that. Oops, what's going on there? Double click on that one. And we'll put 4x. Otherwise this drawing is just going to be crazy with dimensions, and you can do the same with these other ones. Just make sure you should get at least 1 horizontal and 1 vertical for each dimension. And I'm just making sure the cursor's at the front. Let's see. I think I have everything on there. Well, I'll leave that up to you, but I think I have everything covered on that. I'll need to fill out my title block, but that pretty much takes care of that.